let's think about Norway for a second, just because some members of this place will say, oh, it's very hard to tax gas corporations. Well, Norway manages it. Norway in 2023 there was $209 billion earned in the Norwegian gas industry in 2023. They paid an effective tax rate of 63%. In Australia, in the same year, gas corporations made $164 billion of revenue, but only paid a tax rate of that, plus royalties, of 9%. If those gas corporations in Australia paid the same tax rate as they do in Norway, then Australia would have earned in a single year, the Australian government would have earned an extra $88.8 billion in revenue. $88.8 billion of revenue. That would fund dental into Medicare, completely solve the housing crisis by funding a mass construction of public housing. We could coordinate a freeze on rent increases. We could make university education free. We could wipe student debt. We could raise poverty payments that the government forces people to live on JobSeeker above the poverty line. We could do all of that. We could fundamentally improve people's lives, and we could fund a transition plan out of coal and gas in the medium term. Instead, what this government is doing is raising more money off student debt than they are on gas taxes, expanding gas production out past 2050, approving coal mines that we mine in coal out to 2070, and expecting Australians to put up with it. Functionally, what the Labor Party is doing in this place is acting as the political representatives of Woodside and Santos and the entire gas industry. Absolutely. And they are attempting to pull the wool over ordinary people's eyes to suggest that somehow they care about other Australians out here. But let's look at the evidence. Record low taxes for gas corporations that see Santos pay less percentage tax than a cleaner or a teacher or a nurse. They all pay a higher percentage tax rate than Santos does. Public money to help Santos and Woodside do what they want to do, expanding gas production and destroying the planet. And at the end of all of this, what do we get? The world scientists have said that warming is going to expand past 1.5 degrees. God only knows what's going to happen as the world surges past 2.5 and 3 degrees, and many members of this place won't have to be here to suffer the consequences.
Authorised by Jay McCall, Australian Greens.